Hello everyone. Today we are going to start with the chapter 6, which is cyber ethics. Like, we live in a world at a time which is often called as information age, like where information is freely available from any part of the world. Like, this is possible through internet. So all this has made available to us like lots of information, but with it comes responsibility of using this information and technologies. Okay, so we shall talk about the cyber. In this chapter, we will talk about the cyber ethics related to e-commerce, intellectual and digital properties, along with the software licenses, open source movement, and digital divide, etc. So first of all, we'll start with the cyber ethics for e-commerce. Like, e-commerce refers to the occurrence of, like, first of all, we need to know about the e-commerce. What is e-commerce? Like, e-commerce refers to the occurrence of commerce activity online or electronic. What do we mean by commerce activities? What are commerce activities? Commerce activity means buying and selling of goods and services. What are commerce services? Means buying and selling of goods services. We can also say that e-commerce is the buying and selling of goods and services over electronic networks like internet, and making payments and transferring funds over the electronic network like internet. Like, what is e-commerce? When we do any commerce activity online, what are the commerce activities? Commerce activities are buying and selling of goods and making online payments and transferring fund over the electronic network. That is known, those all kind of activities or those all things are known as commerce activities. I hope e-commerce is clear to everyone now. Now we'll talk about cyber ethics for e-commerce. Like, while buying or selling goods or services over the internet, each stakeholder must stick to ethical conduct to ensure that no one is cheated or fooled in any form. Like, in this particular chapter, we are going to talk about cyber ethics only. Like, nowadays, everything is available over the internet, but how we need to make sure on which particular site we are going to share our information, that is genuine or not genuine. Okay, so that we are not going to be cheated by someone, or we are not going to be fooled by someone. How we'll get to know about all such things? That we are going to study in this particular chapter. Okay, so first of all, we'll talk about the privacy. What is privacy? Privacy is the protection of personal information given online. What is privacy? Privacy is the protection of personal information given online. Like, in e-commerce, especially, it is related to the company's policies on the use of user data. Like, ethically, both the user, like you can say both the seller and the buyer, must provide the correct information to each other. Like, both have to be the genuine one, like pertaining to the transaction that is taking place. An e-commerce company must clearly state how it intends to use the customer data collected this way, such as user location, user buying history, user preferences, etc., or whether the customer can restrict the use of personal information. If you might have seen that when you register on any e-commerce site, for example on Amazon, on Flipkart, when you like sign up on that particular page, it will ask you for read the company policies. Okay, on in which they specify all these particular things, they specify their policies. Okay, where they are going to, how they are going to share your information, with whom they are going to share your information, everything is over there. Okay, when you tick on that particular checkbox, then only it will provide you access to do shopping on that particular site. Okay, so all these things are provided by the that particular company. Okay, so like, an important factor of the privacy is the consumer consent. What is consumer consent? Like, whether the consumer is given a choice to decide what the information can and cannot be used for. This is the user choice. Okay, if the user consumer wanted to, like wanted to share the information, then only the person can share. Like usually when the proper security systems are in place, the user will not mind sharing the information necessary for a transaction to take place. Like if we talk about if you are doing shopping on Amazon, Flipkart, these are the genuine sites, everyone knows about them. Okay, they are not going to do any kind of fraud with the people data or whatever the information they are going to share. Like where you need to take care of all these things when you are going to shop from any news site, okay, about which you don't have much knowledge. Like if the proper security system they have, they are using, that means you have no need to worry about that. But the consent will relate to whether this information can be further exploited. Okay, so how to safeguard user privacy? So how we need to safeguard user privacy? First thing is merchant or the seller must clearly state about how the user data will be used in the terms and conditions of its site. Like in the starting, everyone could read the terms and condition of the site. You should read it carefully that how your information is going to be used by whom. Okay, the merchant or the seller must ensure that the user has gone through the terms and conditions given on its site prior to making any transaction. Like everyone knows, when you sign up on any such e-commerce site, it will ask you to read the terms and condition. It will ask for your confirmation as well. Okay, so this should be there in every site. The merchant must assure the user about the data safety. The merchant, or you can say the seller, has to assure the user about the data safety by implementing the proper data safety and security measures, like such as HTTPS protocol and other security mechanisms, so that user data is safe from hackers too. Like this is the responsibility of the merchant. Like if you wanted to see on which site you are working, that is the like that is secure or not secure, you can check HTTPS, this particular thing in the address bar of that particular site. If in starting there is only HTTP and then colon, then site name is there, that means that page is not secure. If HTTPS is there, that means whatever the data you are going to share on that particular site, that is that will be sent on the network with the security. That means your data is secure and it is safe from the hackers. Okay, the next point is the user must go through the terms and condition of the seller or the merchant site before providing any sensitive information. You should be aware about it. Okay, and make sure that the site is safe by checking HTTP protocol and the padlock symbol. What is HTTP protocol? If the site address is starting with HTTPS, that means that particular site is secure. And what else you can see? There is a padlock symbol on the left side of the HTTP. Okay, if the padlock symbol is open, lock kind of symbol will be there. If the padlock symbol is open, that means the site is not secure. If the locked symbol is there, that means the site is secure to share any kind of sensitive information which can be related to your accounts, bank details, etc., etc. Okay, thank you so much everyone. Have a great day.